Some stories are etched into the very stones of a city, becoming part of its soul. In New Orleans, one name echoes with a particular chill: Madame Delphine LaLaurie. To the world, she was a woman of immense wealth and social standing, a celebrated hostess, admired and envied. But beneath the polished surface, a darkness hid within, one that would shatter the illusion and reveal a monster hiding in plain sight. Delphine LaLaurie moved through the ballrooms of the French Quarter with grace and charm, her reputation untouchable. Yet unsettling whispers followed her. Rumors of a violent temper and mistreated servants, dismissed as jealous gossip. The truth was far more horrifying than anyone could imagine, locked away within the elegant walls of her mansion. New Orleans itself was a paradox, a city of culture and commerce, built on immense suffering. Within this world, Madame LaLaurie thrived, wielding absolute power over the lives of others. Was her cruelty a product of her time, or something deeper? Her story forces us to confront the darkness that can hide behind a mask of civility. To understand her, we must journey back in time and trace the path that led a celebrated socialite to become a symbol of unimaginable terror. The name LaLaurie would become forever synonymous with the darkest chapter of New Orleans history. To understand the woman, we must first understand her world. Marie Delphine McCarty was born into one of the most prominent Creole families in New Orleans, surrounded by wealth and privilege. Her family's influence stretched through the city's French and Spanish colonial history. Delphine's life was marked by a series of advantageous marriages, each elevating her status. Her final marriage to Dr. Leonard LaLaurie brought her the name history would remember. Together, they built a grand mansion at 1140 Royal Street, a symbol of their immense wealth. The LaLaurie mansion became the center of social life,
filled with luxury and activity.
From the outside, it was a perfect picture of prosperity and grace. But this power came with a dark undercurrent. In a society built on brutal subjugation, the line between authority and tyranny was thin. In her private domain, far from public gaze, Delphine's true nature would be revealed. The secrets within those walls would soon come to light. Madame LaLaurie's public face was one of refined grace, a poised, dignified woman respected by all. But behind the mansion's ornate facade, a different reality unfolded. Whispers began, neighbors saw her in moments of uncontrolled rage, and the enslaved people in her home appeared gaunt and terrified. One chilling account involved a young girl named Leah chased onto the roof by LaLaurie and falling to her death. Authorities fined LaLaurie for illegal cruelty, but she manipulated the system to regain her enslaved servants. The incident only emboldened her, proving her wealth placed her above the law. Fear among the enslaved people grew. To be sold to LaLaurie was a fate worse than death. The contrast between her public piety and private sadism was staggering. While she entertained guests below, a hidden world of torment took shape above. The whispers grew louder, but remained rumors. No one knew the full extent of the horrors. It would take a catastrophe to finally expose the unspeakable truth. The city was about to learn what truly happened behind those walls. On April 10th, 1834, a fire broke out in the LaLaurie mansion. Neighbors and firefighters rushed to help, but found Madame LaLaurie calmly saving her valuables, indifferent to those trapped inside. The fire was set deliberately by the cook, chained to the stove, who would rather die than be sent to the attic. Her desperate act forced rescuers to break down the doors to the slave quarters. What they found was a chamber of horrors, at least 7 enslaved people, emaciated and bearing marks of grotesque torture. Some were suspended by their necks, others confined in cages, subjected to sadistic experiments. The room was filled with instruments of torture. The victims had suffered for a very long time. The discovery sent shock and revulsion through New Orleans. The rumors were true, but the reality was even worse. News spread quickly, and the crowd outside swelled into an enraged mob. The city's civility had concealed a secret abattoir. The fire meant to hide her crimes instead exposed them to the world. The carefully constructed world of Delphine LaLaurie was destroyed in the flames. As the gruesome details emerged, the crowd outside the mansion became a vengeful mob. They demanded justice, but Madame LaLaurie slipped away with her children amid the chaos. They fled to the waterfront, escaping by schooner as the mob's fury peaked. Denied their target, the crowd turned on the mansion, destroying everything in sight. By the time authorities intervened, the grand house was a gutted shell. Madame LaLaurie's escape marked the beginning of her final mysterious chapter. Reports suggest she fled to Paris, seeking refuge where her crimes were unknown. Her flight left a void in New Orleans, a sense of unfinished business. The monster had vanished, but her story would only grow in the city's imagination. Her physical presence was gone, but her shadow remained. The legend of Madame LaLaurie was just beginning. The fate of Delphine LaLaurie after her escape remains shrouded in mystery. Some say she died in Paris. Others claim her body was returned to New Orleans. This uncertainty only adds to her chilling legend. Did she ever face justice, or die peacefully in exile? The lack of closure turned her story into American folklore. The LaLaurie mansion, rebuilt and inhabited by many, has never escaped its past. It is considered one of the most haunted houses in the United States. Visitors report phantom screams, ghostly apparitions, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Whether haunted by spirits or memory, the house stands as a monument to horror. The fire of 1834 exposed her secrets, but ignited a legend that endures. The veiled socialite of New Orleans is gone, but the haunting of Madame LaLaurie lives on.